Hi there, and welcome to Modern Day Mirror. This is a place to get curious about the feelings and experiences we see reflected in the stories of others. We're here to celebrate and learn from our neighbors as living, breathing, modern day mirrors. Hey there, folks. This is your host, Cecilia, and thanks for tuning in to our debut episode. During this first season of Modern Day Mirror, we've got a collection of stories for you featuring endings our guests did not see coming. To start us off, we're talking surprise endings and online dating. I've been off the apps for quite some time now, but I'll admit, the romantic in me still loves the idea of all the potential in these virtual matchmaking spaces, even if it can sometimes feel like the odds are stacked against you. Our first episode features a fabulous storyteller and one of my dearest friends, Kyla, who begrudgingly gave online dating a try after 18 whole months off the market. Let's take a listen as she opens up about a risky first date she'll never forget.
So I was sitting in Ink Eats and Drinks with someone sitting across from me right now. And you were probing me to get back in like the dating world and get into this whole swipe left, swipe right stuff.
Yeah.
Hadn't been talking to anybody for like 18 plus-ish months. So with a little bit of liquid, I don't give a heck, we started my profile and pick some pictures, let you tear them apart, pick some other pictures. Because again, I'm like, I don't want to do this. So put some pictures up there and just roll the dice pretty much. And as if you remember, I was done. I was like, this is a joke.
What do you think before that experience? What was the hesitation to online dating, do you think?
Being, I don't want to say complacent, content. That would probably be the best word. Being content with my space. I was fine not talking to anybody.
Yeah.
I was fine doing me. If I wanted to leave my drawers on the couch, I would leave them there. Yes. My son's not going to say anything. He might be like, ew, mom. But you know what I mean? If I wanted to leave them there and go to work and come home, they would still be there.
Yeah.
I didn't have to worry about anybody else in the space. I could do what I want. If my son wasn't home, I could drink my wine for dinner and go to bed. Like, I was just really content and comfortable in the little life that I had created with just myself and my son. I had my girlfriends. I was still going out, hanging out and all that kind of stuff. So like life, my social life didn't stop, but I wasn't worried about filling that man space. It didn't feel like a void. So I was good with it, right? Mm-hmm. I had my ups and downs. It was ebbs and flows. So sometimes I'd be like, I want somebody. And it wasn't just like, cuffing season, wintertime stuff. It was just sometimes you did want that companion. Then I start talking and I'm like, and the dating pool is trash. So I go back to my, I'm cool, just, you know what I mean? I'll exchange numbers, kiki with somebody, but I never was finding anybody that was worth me kind of shaking up my comfortable little, home that I had. Mm-hmm. And 18 months later, you get real comfortable. Yeah. It's just really easy to do your own thing. And now I got to think about somebody else and split time and get dressed when you come over. That was another thing. Everybody who knows me knows I am very laid back. I'm pretty chill. Like, I'm not going to be glammed up on a Tuesday in my house. I'm going to come over. My clothes will not match. My hair is probably a mess.
Bra optional.
Bra definitely off. Absolutely off. Yeah. So make the profile and just let it go, right? Getting some very good laughs out of it by far.
I remember laughing so hard in that restaurant. People probably thought we were drunk and we were not.
We were not.
And if you remember, that was one of the first times that we hung out too.
Was it?
It was. You were your little beautiful airy self who is very kind of, you're friendly and cordial with everyone, but you're very, very protective with who you let into your inner circle. My circle
is small.
And so I had spotted your energy from across the room months before that, right? I'm like, I want to be this girl's friend. And so I remember you were kind of like, we could. I had suggested we get together and like do the online dating, you know, stuff and take a look. And you were kind of like, I guess, It wasn't even like prime hours, right? It wasn't like a Friday. I think it was like a Tuesday after work or something, right?
Bar was kind of empty. It was kind of like a couple regulars in there.
We just laughed and laughed. That was so fun.
It was definitely fun. When I look back, it was definitely fun. It really helped me realize, like, what do you want? You know what I mean? Because I'm not into the whole, like, what are you doing? What did you do today? Good morning, gorgeous. Like, stop. I am 30 something years old. I don't need
Team
a good
too
morning.
much.
Right? I don't need your good morning, gorgeous. Unless you like, there's coffee money under the mat when you leave. Like, okay.
Yeah.
So, swiping and swiping. I'm over it. I didn't delete the app. And this is when I think things are supposed to happen the way they did for a reason. I didn't delete my account. I deleted the app. So, I still had a notification that was set up to send me emails if somebody direct messaged me. So I'm sitting at work one day and I'm bored. That's always when I get into myself in trouble. So sitting at work, bored, and I get an email that I got a direct message. This is from the app that I've deleted off my phone, but I just deleted the app. So my account was still active, I guess. So I'm like, oh. First message is, hi, how are you doing? It wasn't the good morning, gorgeous, you're beautiful, and all that riffraff, right?
Yeah.
So, bored at work, let's talk. So I get back on and we're messaging back and forth. And the dude is actually chill. Like, he's not trying to butter me up. He's not trying to give me all these accolades. We're having a little bit of just regular conversation. And I was okay with that. He wasn't really like the physical type that I would go for, but he wasn't ugly to me. He just wasn't really just the type that I would check for. Like, if I couldn't talk to you and I had to pick you out of a crowd, he wouldn't be that person. Once talking to him, definitely would be someone I'd pick out the crowd, right?
Yeah.
But those first impressions are usually visual. So, chatting back and forth or whatever, it's maybe a couple of weeks of chatting. It was right before my birthday. And I think I want to say he messaged me and was like, here's my number. I'm getting off of, this app or whatever. And I'm like, okay. So, got the number, thought about it, sat on it for a second, reached out. Conversation continued via text. So I was cool with it. Then, like, the weekend of my birthday that year, he went ghost. And I was like, this mother... We're having, like, decent conversation. We're not talking about, like, getting together. We're not talking about dating.
Just, like, getting to know each other as friends.
Just talking, right?
Yeah.
Just conversation like I would have with anybody. I'm pretty clever with the tongue, kind of a smart aleck. Yeah. So I would shoot him, and I get a little laugh, shoot him back, whatever. So we're just talking, have a good conversation. Then my birthday comes, which he does not know my birthday. And this is ladies where we have to really have a moment of like self-checking. Because I'm like, it's my birthday weekend and he ain't even called me. Honey, he don't know it's your birthday. He don't know.
What do you mean he can't read my mind?
Exactly. Like, you didn't look at my profile? I'm pretty sure my birthday was on my profile.
Yeah.
He had just went ghost. Like, I just didn't hear from him for the like Friday through all of Sunday. Then Monday he comes back like, hey, how are you? My first thought was like, nigga, where you been? Like, you know what I mean? So when he got back in, he's like, hey, how you doing or whatever? How was your weekend? But then he says, my son and I went to Yosemite and I didn't have any reception. We left Friday or whatever day that I realized that I had stopped hearing from him. And instantly I was like, okay, it's okay. Like, I felt better all of a sudden, right?
Yeah.
But I went into this just talking. I went into this being my sarcastic, smart aleck, sharp tongued self. I went into it not caring about really what I said, how I said, when I said it, because I wasn't worried about trying to like this person or this person trying to like me. So, especially because he wasn't like that, ooh, who is he? Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't one of those even physical attractions for me. Yeah. So there was nothing pulling at me to make me feel like I needed to be on top of my game. You got real deal Holyfield Kyla. So, anywho, chit-chatting or whatever, and we start hanging out. So the first time he invites me over, and this was on some real weird stuff.
What?
But he was telling me, I think it was criminal now that I think about it. He was telling me that he like drives this lady, like almost so chauffeurish like. He drives this lady, like she'll rent the car. He drives her wherever. He'll either wait or he'll come back, return the car. And I'm just like, okay. I'm like, I'm about to see him on First 48 or something odd.
Like, what do you got going on?
Yeah. So it was very weird. But he had told me that the lady had given him or gifted him like a really nice bottle of wine. Mind you, we're chatting and getting to know each other, so he knows I like wine. He was like, you want to come try it with me? And I'm like, just ask me if you want me to come over.
Yeah.
So
that was kind of smooth, though.
It was. I give it to him. He was like, you want to come try it with me or whatever? And I'm like, okay, cool. Again, not being normal Kyla. Normal Kyla is, you're not going to know where I live. We're going to meet in public. This Kyla, I don't know who the hell she was. This Kyla went to this man's house at dark 30.
Oh, no.
To go drink wine. Like, girl, just walk in there with your panties in your hand, because that's what it looks like, right?
Yeah.
So I get on there, and it was you, and it was my my bestie Liz. Hey, y'all, if I don't come back, this is what he looked like.
I remember.
This is where he lives. This is the phone number I've been texting. Like, you give your girls all the details, and you're like, I'll text you when I come up from air, right?
Yeah.
So we get there, and I'm like, hey, I'm here, and where do I park? And so, because he lives in an apartment, he comes out, and he ends up moving his car out of his stall so that I can park in his stall, and he goes and finds somewhere to park. Kudos.
Love that.
Kudos, right?
Love
off the
that,
top.
yeah.
So then we get in the house, and he actually had wine. It was not that special. It was not that special. But I'm like, it's okay. And he's like, ends up being an African man, so I'm hearing all the accent. I remember joking about he couldn't say Berkeley. He was saying
because you
Buckley.
haven't talked to each other on the phone or anything?
We talked once or twice on the phone, like voice. We talked a couple of times on the voice. So I've heard the accent over the phone, so I wasn't shocked in person. But when you hear, like, naked ear hear it, I was like, dang, he really, like, you really ain't from here, bro. So just hanging out, everything's cool or whatever. He pours the wine. Glasses don't match. Like, total bachelor. Exactly. Yeah. He's washing them out before he gives them to me, which you don't even realize I'm OCD, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But, like, total bachelor pad. He's got, like, random rugs and different couches. A big old TV, of course. But we sit down and we have just good conversation. Again, like, that's always been a good thing for us. We always had good conversation. We could talk about anything forever, right? So sit down or whatever, having conversation, we're chit-chatting, watching like TV-ish a little bit, drinking the wine. And it's like, okay, wine is gone. And it's like time to figure out if you're going to, shit or get off the pot.
Yeah.
I ended up staying on the pot. And I don't know why. Because again, not normal Kyla move. I'm at your house at dark 30. I'm doing all these things I don't normally do. I stayed the night at the man's house. I don't even know why. I think I was just rolling with it. Like, and I remember, was it the first time? I don't think it was the first time I went over there. That was a couple times later. I went over there with my hair. Like, I had my friend twist my hair. So, because I'm natural, you got to start that stuff the night before.
Yes.
While it's wet, you got to twist it up, put the product on there, and let it dry overnight.
Because it takes a day and a half to dry.
Man. Yeah. And so I went to my friends and had her twisted, and it was like, okay, but Mimi, I'm about to go see this dude. Like, what can I do with this hair? So, put on my little Erykah Badu, boom, boom, wrapped it up, and was like, we're gonna make it work. Still just being myself or whatever. Not really caring. Like, I kind of like him now. I'm kind of digging him.
Yeah.
But I'm still okay walking away. It's still fresh. It's still new. It is what it is. So, spent the night the first time. My panties stayed on, just for those who's wondering.
No judgment.
No judgment, because the second time they came off. So, Sam spent the night the first night or whatever. We get up in the morning. I slept on top of the bed, jeans on, shirt on the side of the bed, because old Kyla was starting to come out like, wait a minute, girl, what are you doing? Like, got a little nervous, but it was like, but I ain't leaving now.
Because that's really vulnerable.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know you. You chop me up, and you know what I mean? I'll be done. Like, I don't know. I'm out in, like, Citrus Heights. I think at the time I was living in South Sac, so, like, all my people is way on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
So it kind of got like, ooh, so I kind of clammed a little bit, but finally went to sleep. Really had no problems going to sleep. But then wake up in the morning, he's like, "Are you a coffee drinker?" And I'm like, "I like coffee with my creamer." And he was like, "Okay, I don't really have. I got some instant coffee, but I don't have no creamer." And I was like, "It's okay, don't worry about it or whatever."
Yeah. So thoughtful.
Very, very, very thoughtful.
Yeah.
And that was something that every time after that I went to stay the night, I woke up with a little Starbucks on the side of the bed. Because he's an early riser and I am not. And then I lived in South Sac. South Sac is hood. So it's like, is that a gunshot or a firework? You never know.
Yeah.
I'm out of his apartment in Citrus Heights, and it's quiet and it's cool because there's like a big tree in front of his window. And so I'm like snoozing every morning. Yeah. He gets up on the weekends and goes and gets his son. And he's leaving me in the apartment by himself. But I have my little Starbucks on the side. He did get some creamer and instant coffee because he didn't have a coffee maker. But that's cool. I appreciate the thought. Yeah. So all of those things just started happening and continuing. Like, it wasn't, I'm doing this in the beginning. It was just like, no, every time. Then it was like, here, I'm out of coffee, but get you some on the way to work. Because now I went from staying Fridays to coming over on Saturdays or a Sunday when he didn't have his son and stuff. Yeah. So I'm now leaving from work from Citrus Heights on my big girl stuff, But yeah, so it just kind of started to develop and become something. And I'll say, long story short, we're getting married October 6th.
Oh,
so
I just got chills. I mean, I knew that.
I know you knew that. But in hindsight, kind of looking at just all the things that I did in the very beginning, I was my absolute self. And I was comfortable being my absolute self because I did not care what was going to happen afterwards. Mm-hmm. Comfortable in my skin and who I am and how I speak, how I look and all of the things. If I would have done that a long time ago, I just really wonder what would have happened, what things I might have missed out on, what things that would have maybe happened differently or relationships been different if I was just myself.
When we know better, we do better, right?
That part. So now you get Kyla. And Kyla still needs a little softening sometimes.
As we all do.
Sometimes you get a little too much, Kyla. But I'm just me now. And I like it. I like me. I like that I'm just kind of carefree to a certain degree. Mm-hmm. And with my circle, with my people, I'm still me. But I'm learning to be me in new spaces. And if you like me, that's great. If you don't, that's cool. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I'm not here to be everybody's cup of tea. Yeah. Because I also know the me that I give off is a lot. I give 10 toes down me. And if you like me, you like me. And if you don't, you're lost, not mine, Yeah. But
can I offer another reframe here? I don't think that all of you is a lot. I actually think that you bringing all of you is unusual, which is why it can be perceived as being a lot.
I like that outlook. I really do.
Yeah.
I really felt like if I wasn't me, especially if anybody knows my dude, he's probably way more, I could care less about the fancy, the trendy, you know what I mean? He'd probably wear the same pair of pants if I didn't make him change them. So it's like, in that aspect, we worked very well together. And if I wasn't being me, I might have missed my opportunity. I might have missed my person. So I don't know. It's something that has changed who I am or who I want to be. It went from caring and trying to be others to caring and being myself. For sure. Most authentic time of my life.
I love that.
So yeah, pretty cool. Now I'm like, hey, no take backs. Sorry. I like to remind him, open the door and be like, hey, by the way, you picked this, bro. You're welcome. So yeah, when he walks in the kitchen and I'm in there dancing with the spatula in my hand, I'm like, this all yours, baby. It's all yours.
Big thank you to Kyla for reminding us of what's possible when we're brave enough to show up authentically. Be sure to check out the podcast show notes where you can find the Modern Day Mirror link tree, featuring a direct link to our Instagram with photos of Kyla and her boo, and more information on how you can be our next guest on the podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a rating, subscribe, and share it with a friend. Thanks so much for being here.